Welcome to Opinion Wars, a show where we react and give our opinion. I'm your host, Devin, and these are my guests, Tiara and Zach. So today we are talking about relationships, and we are just going to answer a bunch of different questions about it. Okay? So first, what do you believe is the most important thing in a relationship?
I believe the most important thing in a relationship is communication among both partners. I feel that without communication, your relationship will not be successful because at all times you guys should have some type of form of communication at all times, whether good or bad.
Right. What about you, Zach?
I was going to say communication too, but I believe trust is also important because it doesn't exist in the first place without trust. I mean, communication is what keeps a relationship going, but trust is what starts one to begin with.
Yeah, good. For me, it would be honesty because, well, first, I don't like people lying to me. That's one.
Yeah.
And I don't like nobody like hiding things from me either. So for me, 100% honesty. Communication is key for everything, though. So not just for like a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner relationship, also for like a friendship as well. Because, like, you know, sometimes friends, they don't like telling you certain things.
Yeah.
But it's very important for them to tell you those things so you guys could build that trust and keep that honesty going.
It all just kind of cycles into each other.
Yes.
Really.
100%. Good answer, guys.
Thank you.
If you and your spouse are arguing, what is the one thing that would drive you crazy? For me, it would be walking away. I hate that. Don't walk away. Say what you got to say.
I mean, I guess it depends on what we're arguing about. Because, I mean, sometimes, I guess it depends on the relationship, too, because sometimes it's, like, important to just take a moment to cool off, but I don't think it necessarily has to be walking away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where communication also comes in, just saying something like mid-argument, like, look, we're both a little heated right now, let's just take a second to cool off and continue this.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of stay there with each other, you know, walk away, because that obviously doesn't
Yeah.
bode well for the relationship.
What about you, Tiara?
I totally agree. I don't like to be, I don't like to be ignored. That's number one. Number two, I don't like when people walk away from me. I feel like it's a sign of like disrespect. And I also don't like when someone says you're right. Like if you're arguing with somebody, they're like, you're right. Okay, you got it. You're right. I don't like that.
I mean, all healthy relationships argue. It's just unavoidable, but that's kind of part of it, though. You know what I mean? It's like a trial by fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
You work out the issues as you go with the other person.
What about arguing on the phone? Because I don't like those 3 beeps. You know that doop, doop, doop? No, I don't like that.
So it would be very disrespectful if the person hung up on me.
Yes.
And because, you know, frustration, anything could happen. So I feel like if someone hung up on me, that's when like I really get mad.
Do you think any argument could be resolved through the phone? Or do you think it's just better just to do it face to face?
I feel like face to face is better because over the phone, like you can't really like express your emotions or see like the reactions or how someone's like feeling. I feel like when you discuss it face to face, is more personal because people can act different like over the phone or through texting. So
yeah, I guess it'd be a similar kind of answer because just without like body language, something visual on, stuff gets lost in communication.
Right.
And, you know, that's the one time you don't want anything get lost in communication when you're arguing with your significant other.
yeah.
So how do you personally handle arguments with, like, friends?
I mean, sometimes I'll do it like over the phone, but I rather like do it like you said face to face because it's more personal, and I feel like things can't get resolved like over the phone. I feel like once you have like the emotion into play and like the person they're actually like there with you, you could hear their side and then you could express yourself to them. It kind of gives like a sense of like clarification type thing. So.
So the next question, I know we talked about trust for like that being the most important thing, but like, can we just go into a little bit more detail as to why it is important?
Well, yeah, sure. Because, I mean, like I said earlier, trust is pretty much what the entire relationship is built on. Communication, being honest with you. It doesn't exist unless you trust the other person, you know what I mean? That's what makes, that's what separates you from being complete strangers, just at least someone you're at least acquainted with. All relationships are built on trust.
So, well, what's your guys' views on marriage? because that's a little bit interesting. I don't think that a relationship, like, you don't think that needs to be the end goal.
Yeah, I don't think that has to be the end goal. I feel like a stereotype or like a social norm for people is to get married, but at the same time, some people don't want to like get married, and I feel like if they don't, it all depends on the person. So if they want to be connected to somebody forever, and but I feel like not a lot of people want to do that, so it shouldn't be forced on anyone.
Yeah.
But that's like the social norm that you have to get married, which is like not.
I think it's
fair.
just a contract.
I guess the other part of it would be looking at marriage as like an end goal in general. I feel like it's kind of defeating the purpose because as cheesy, as hallmarky as it sounds, it's not the end, it's the beginning. I mean, it sounds cheesy, but it's true.
Wow,
I mean?
Zach.
It starts there, it doesn't end there.
Yeah. Speaking of marriage, like, this is completely off the cuff, but like, do you think love or trust is more important when it comes to a marriage? I know I just hit you with that one.
I'm gonna still go with trust because I think love runs out, but just because love runs out doesn't mean our relationship and our marriage can't work, because then respect comes into play.
Right.
Where love was, and if you trust each other, it still stays together. I think that's ultimately what decides how relationships ultimately last in the long run. Would I still want to be with you if love ran out? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like trust is like something that is not something that is like given. Like you kind of have to earn it. I feel like over a course of time, your trust then starts to like progress with the person that like you're with. Love. I wouldn't say love, because sometimes people are really not in love. They're just with someone for the wrong purpose.
Yeah.
So love isn't really like a factor in some relationships. So I feel like trust is like a big thing that plays like the biggest part in like a relationship.
Awesome. So do you think money is important in a relationship? I do.
It definitely plays a factor, yeah. I guess it also depends on the people in their relationship, though, because, I mean, obviously money is more important to some people than others. It really depends on the relationship, but I do think it plays a factor.
I can't be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't at least have a job.
Yeah, that's
right?
where it always is.
I do think that you need to support yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes. I feel like in a relationship, I know like when some people like get married, it's kind of like they bring their savings and their income and they put it all together. But I feel like if money shouldn't be like the biggest factor like in a relationship, and also because money is like the root of all evil.
Ooh.
So I feel like money could definitely like break your relationship up depending on how like the use of the money is. I feel like everybody should just already come into the relationship with their own money, and then if they would want to bring it together and use put it together in the end, then that would be fine. But I don't feel like money is like very necessary.
I guess my own opinion with that is ultimately money is just a means to an end. You know what I mean? It's a tool to make sure you have a roof over your head, that you, your spouse, maybe your kids have food, clothing, what they need. People can feel differently about that, but ultimately I think at its core, money's value doesn't come from money itself. It's what it does. It's when you spend it.
So what is your idea of a perfect partner? For me, if it's like characteristics, I like them tall. I like them, I don't know. Like, I just like that. That's about it. Look at me, I'm just so superficial.
So tall.
Just tall and that's it, no. What is your idea of a perfect partner?
I wouldn't say like I have an idea of like the perfect partner. I mean, I'm not really like judgmental, but I would say nobody's perfect. So if like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I wouldn't like judge them on like their looks or like how they act, but you do want someone who you feel comfortable with and you could trust, and
they definitely have to be funny.
All right, so tall, funny. That's what we're at so far. Just keeping track.
What about you, Zach?
Well, I guess I don't know if I have anything specific for characteristics, but I guess what I kind of see as a relationship ultimately is, and this I'm gonna like apply it to marriage here, but I guess it doesn't really have to be. when you're really with someone for the long haul, it's kind of like you're agreeing to take on life as a challenge as a team. So I guess what I would look for in like the best possible partner is just someone who I feel like everything is a team effort with that kind of thing. I mean, you don't stop being an individual, but just, you know, you work together.
Okay. So our final question, if your partner asked you to live with him or her or them, and they told you that you couldn't bring your pet, how would you react?
Well, it was very nice meeting you. I'm sorry this relationship didn't work out. I wish you luck in the future. Bye. I'm a dog person. I don't currently have a dog because my dog that I've had for a long time, he just, you know, he reaches the end of his natural lifespan. But I just I got advice from someone that was married for a very long time that said this. It might seem a bit crass, but he said there's 3 arguments, only 3 though, that men can never lose. And one is anything involving a car, anything involving that really horrible shirt no one likes that you just have to wear, and the third is if there's a dog or a pet or something, and that I do feel very strongly about the third one.
Yeah. Awesome. So we went around the campus and we asked all the students like these questions. So let's take a look. What do you think is the most important aspect in being in a relationship?
Wow. Well, I think that the most important aspect of a relationship definitely is trust. I feel like if you don't have trust in a person, there's nothing there because you have to trust someone, you know. So.
How would you resolve an argument?
Definitely talking it out. I know that I struggle with that a lot. Communication is definitely important also in a relationship, so I definitely feel like talking it out, definitely being calm in a situation where you're talking it out, not, you know, getting over yourself, but definitely, talking it out.
How would you resolve a conflict with your partner?
Communication.
Why? Elaborate on it.
Because you gotta talk things out. Mostly it's just misunderstandings, you know. So you just be saying the same thing, but you're both saying it differently.
Should your partner have money prior to coming into the relationship?
Yeah, take care of yourself. You shouldn't be out here struggling by yourself. I'm not here to take care of them. By myself.
Why is trust important in a relationship?
Trust is like the base of the relationship. So without trust, you really can't do much in a relationship.
What makes you mad in an argument?
What makes me mad in an argument is like someone trying to yell over me, or just like yelling in general. Like I don't like to yell in an argument. Like if we're arguing, let's just talk it out.
How would you resolve a conflict?
Resolving a conflict, I would just talking it out. Talking it out, don't get physical. Come into an agreement.
Why is trust important in a relationship?
Trust. Well, when you're in a relationship, it's a two-way streak. I would say if you want to be with someone, they have to put their trust in you. Their 100% dedication, time, everything. You know, what's the point of having a relationship or even a friendship overall where there's no mutual, respect?
How would you resolve a conflict in a relationship?
From what I've dealt with and have seen, there's a lot of ways to, handle conflict. But the best way is to, either sit down and just talk it out, but that depends on the person and who you're talking to. B, I would just go out for a coffee, do something to alleviate the tension. Or C, ask for advice, but be careful on who you ask.
All right, so thank you for watching Opinion Wars. I'm your host, Devin. These are my co-hosts, Tiara and Zach, and we will see you next time.